Your Geico Mets starting lineup today. Left-hander going for the Reds, and for the first time in a while, Terry Collins is going to let his lefties ride. Other than Michael Conforto, Granderson, Murphy, Duda, all in the lineup today as the Mets look to wrap up a division title as they take on the rookie left-hander John Lamb.
Well, Lamb came over at one of the deadline trades, the Johnny Cueto trade with Kansas City, and you can see in his 8 starts, he's had a little ups and downs, giving up more hits than innings pitched. Walks are good. We'll get a good look at him, a Southern California kid. And the Reds defense brought to you by Coors Light. Duvall had a nice day yesterday. He's back in the lineup. De Jesus at shortstop. Frazier, Votto, Phillips, all stars on that infield. And Tucker Barnhart behind the plate.
Well, Terry Collins has been a bridesmaid many times. 5 times his teams have finished in second place, but he's never been to the postseason. And at 66 years old, looking for his first trip, he has kept himself from talking about it, but it is going to be a great experience for that man when it finally happens.
Baseball lifer. He's done everything in this game on the minor league and major league level. He has been, I got to say, Gary, and I think you'll agree with me, he's been a little tense and driven this last week in this final drive to the flag.
Just wants to make sure it happens. Curtis Granderson leads off, takes a strike, and we're underway. Curtis had a big game last night with an RBI double and a 3-run homer as the Mets built a 12-0 lead and won 12-5. David Wright on deck, and Granderson swings through the fastball from Lamb, and it's 0-2. Cloudy day. Wind is blowing mostly in from center field. Kind of cool. Temperature in the upper 60s. 1-2 to Granderson. And it should get a little cooler as the late afternoon turns into early evening. But with the clouds, the one positive with 4 o'clock start, no shadows. And the breaking ball in there for a call strike 3. The cutter from John Lamb to get Granderson for the first out.
Just kind of backed up inside. Didn't break out as planned, and it throws up Curtis. Here we are, Gary, the 155th game of the season, and the Mets are poised for a National League East flag.
Mets have won 5 division titles, 69, 73, 86, and 88, the 2 you were a part of, and 2006. Going for their 6th division title in their 54-year history. David Wright up in the 2nd spot in the batting order. David, 3 for 9 in this series, has been swinging the bat very well and has picked up right where he left off against left-handers. He's hitting .382 against lefties this year.
Well, with his shortened season, of course, we know David missed so much of the year. This is only his 34th game of the season. 34 at-bats against left-handers.
And Lamb gets a generous strike call from Chris Conroy, and it's 2-1.
Little chill in the air.
Well, it's a reminder that autumn is here, and the Mets hope to be playing in much cooler weather before it's all said and done. David bounces one foul, and it's 3-2. Imagine the emotions that David's going through. He experienced postseason play as a very young player. Figured it would be a yearly occurrence and has had to wait 9 years for the chance to return. 2 high ball 4, and he's on with a 1-out walk.
And Gary, with that spinal stenosis and not knowing it probably mid-season if he was going to be able to get back.
And the other piece is, remember that, David re-upped with this team at a time when things did not look all that promising. Sandy Alderson convinced him that there was help on the way in the form of all the young pitching, which has now come to fruition. David decided to stick around to be part of a newly successful franchise here, and looks like that confidence is paying off. Here's Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes 4 for 8 in this series. This bat looks like it's right back to where it was a couple of weeks ago before he hit a little skid.
52nd game in a Met uniform. 214th at bat, and boy has he been productive. 44 RBIs, 38 runs scored.
And for the season now, Cespedes now with 105 RBIs and 100 runs scored. And that's something that's not as widely regarded as it used to be, but 100 runs and 100 RBIs is a big season any way you slice it. Daniel Murphy hitting cleanup today on deck. And Cespedes fouls back the high fastball, 2-1.
Big cut right there. He never gets cheated.
John Lamb, just 25 years old, from Laguna Hills, California. 5th round pick by the Royals in 2008. One of 3 left-handers that Kansas City dealt to the Reds when they picked up Johnny Cueto at the deadline.
Oh, he gave that changeup away. Slowed down his arm motion.
Lamb was plugged right into the Reds rotation, making his 9th start. He had 20 starts in AAA this year in 2 stops, and he was 10-2, so he's had a fine year all the way around. Behind on Cespedes, 3-1. And another big cut of the high fastball, 3-2.
And that's what Cespedes has to just, he doesn't lay off that high fastball right there. Just a little out of that strike zone. He'll chase after it.
How about that? 56 straight games the Reds have had a rookie starting pitcher on the mound. Increasing that major league record every day.
Well, he made his debut against the Dodgers. It became the 8th rookie starter for the Reds. That was back in June, or I'm sorry, July.
This is the Reds' 154th game. 102 of them now have been started by a rookie pitcher. They had Cueto in their rotation. They had Mike Leake in their rotation. Both got traded before the deadline. Cueto to Kansas City, Leake to San Francisco. And it's been nothing but rookies since. It's been a lost year for the Reds. 90 losses already. You can hear the wind is gusting in from center field. Not a great hitter's day in what generally is a great hitter's ballpark. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming to Cespedes. And he goes down swinging. So Lamb wins that battle. His 2nd strikeout.
No, they went after him with the fastball. This guy's not afraid to throw it. Comes inside. Got him.
So 2 outright still at first, and now Daniel Murphy. Murphy is the hottest Met hitter right now, hitting .467 over his last 8 games. And he takes below the knees for ball 1.
Got quite a little team race for the RBI lead. Murph right now with 70. Lucas Duda with that big day yesterday has 66. Granderson in the leadoff spot, 68. Outstanding.
Murphy gets ahead of one and fouls it off. The Mets were 49-48 on the 25th of July. That's when they began to make moves. They got Johnson, they got Uribe, they called up Conforto, they picked up Clippard, they got Cespedes. From that point on, the Mets are 38-19. They've gone from 3 games behind to 8.5 games in front and on the verge. Murphy pulls one through the hole, a base hit, right at the hold up to avoid getting hit. So he'll stop at second. So Murphy just continues to rake. He now has a 9-game hitting streak, and the Mets have 2 men on.
And more importantly, too, for Daniel, hitting left-handers. And you notice Terry was platooning Murph not long ago, 2 weeks ago. But Murph's been hitting so well, he's got him in the lineup every day now against lefties and righties. And
that's going to be interesting going forward because, of course, the Mets are going to face Clayton Kershaw and maybe a couple of other lefties in a prospective playoff series with the Dodgers. And I think Terry's statement today is, I need my best players out there, whether they be left-handed or right-handed.
If I'm managing Murph in the lineup.
There's Darno, who's struggling right now. Travis 0 for his last 11, 2 for his last 29, but he has crushed lefties as well this year. He's hitting .341 against left-handed pitching. And the changeup misses. 2-0. You see Travis's splits. Not a lot of at-bats because he's had his season interrupted twice, but his return, Wright's return, that's only enhanced this Mets run over the last 2 months.
Well, Travis is really, this is his 63rd game. He's not even had half a season, and he's really on a pace for a 90 RBI a year with over 20 home runs.
Mets hit 3 3-run homers last night. Only the 3rd time in their history they've done that. And now Lamb behind on d'Arnaud, 3-0. The first time they hit 3 3-run homers, it was in Cincinnati in the old ballpark, Riverfront Stadium. And they were hit by Darryl Strawberry, Howard Johnson, and Ron Darling.
Ronnie?
1989.
Wow.
That's a strike 3-1. It was the last home run Ronnie ever hit in the major leagues. His first one had come in his previous start. He had home runs in back-to-back starts, never hit one before or after.
So he was red hot.
I guess. Because he cooled down after that. 3-1 to d'Arnaud with Duda on deck. 2 out and 2 on. And Travis goes after that high fastball. Lamb's had success up in the zone early in this game. 3-2 to d'Arnaud. Struck out Cespedes with a high fastball. Now he's come back from 3-0 to get full. Wright and Murphy will be on their way. And d'Arnaud yanks one foul. 3-2.
More than a few Met fans in the ballpark.
Well, certainly there are more today than there were the last 2 nights, so Met fans appear to have made the trek somehow, some way to get here for the potential of watching this team celebrate. Again, the 3-2, and it's fouled off again. So Lamb having to work awfully hard in this first inning. He's had 3 particularly long at bats. He's up to 28 pitches already and not yet out of the inning.
I am hopeful today that Washington wins and wins big.
So and wins quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're in the second inning with Philly, no score.
You don't want to have a Washington loss before you're finished.
Inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Duda. So 2 walks in the inning issued by Lamb, wrapped around a Murphy single, and an early chance for Lucas Duda, who had himself a huge night last night. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because we mentioned the Mets have won 5 division titles. In every case, the Mets were able to celebrate on the field,
right.
Clinch it themselves, not have somebody clinch it for them.
Right.
69, they won at home. 73, the day after what was said to be the end of the season, they won at Wrigley Field. 86 and 88, we won both of those at home, and 06 the same. So if the Mets do clinch today or tomorrow or in Philly, it'll be only the second time they've ever clinched a division away from home. So here's Duda, who had a pair of 3-run homers last night. 8 RBIs in the 2 games in this series. Bases loaded, 2 out, and he almost got hit by the first one. Ball 1. Lucas's bat all of a sudden has revved up. The last 3 days, 5 for 9, yes. 3 doubles and 2 home runs.
It's been that kind of year for him, hasn't it, Gare? Just a streaky year. 2 real good streaks, and just kind of puttering around in second gear the rest of the time. And I saw him in the clubhouse today. He's so understated, you know, Lucas. And I went up to him and I said, boy, it's the right time to turn it on, isn't it? He goes, yeah, it's baseball, Keith. I'm like, okay, no fooling now, you know.
Lamb's in a pickle now. 2-0 to Duda. And Lucas drives one deep right field. That ball is gone. A grand slam for Lucas Duda.
The suddenly raging hot Lucas Duda gives the Mets the early 4-0 lead. A bullet of a grand slam, his 25th home run, his third in 2 days. And the Mets jump out early, 4-0.
Wow. Quick inside. Fastball in and down and quick.
What a series Duda's having here in Cincinnati. 12 RBIs. And 4 with 1 swing. Rocking.
I just think this team senses it. This ball's inside corner. He turns on it, gets the barrel out.
Kind of reminiscent of the one he hit against Jordan Zimmerman at Citi Field in that Sunday night game when Zimmerman came in off the plate and he was able to keep it fair. He did not hit another home run for about 6 weeks, but all of a sudden, Duda back in one of those grooves like he was in late July, early August when he hit 9 in an 8-game span.
25 home runs on the year now for Lucas. That gives him a team high, tied with Murph for 70 RBIs. And you know what? If he gets in one of those home run streaks, he could hit 30 again, back to back.
2-0 to Kadire, and there's a strike. So a nightmarish first inning for John Lamb. Rookie lefty's already thrown 35 pitches. By the way, that was Duda's first career grand slam, and for the Mets, their third grand slam this season.
By the way, that's 10 RBIs in the last 2 games.
And 12 in the series.
That's good work, isn't it?
Little dribbler Barnhart goes out to play it and throws out Kadire to end the inning. But the Mets seeking champagne and off to a fast start. Duda putting some bottles on ice with his 25th. A grand slam gives Matt Harvey a 4-0 lead. Hyundai starting lineup for the Cincinnati Reds against Matt Harvey this afternoon. Ivan DeJesus gets the start at shortstop. Still that formidable 2 through 5 with Votto, Phillips, Bruce, and Frazier. And Harvey stake to the early lead.
Well, Matt, as you can see, his 28th start. 4th career start against the Reds, 1-0 against them career with an ERA 2.25. Had a no decision in mid-season against them at home.
Jason Bourgeois leading off. Bourgeois had 3 hits last night against Noah Syndergaard, 3 of the 5 that Noah gave up in his dominant performance. Joey Votto on deck, and then Brandon Phillips. Harvey was dominant his last start against the Yankees. It just didn't last very long. Popped up foul, and that'll come out of play. Harvey went 5 scoreless innings, allowed just 1 infield hit, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Was pulled after 5 innings and 77 pitches. Starts the night with 176 2/3 innings, which is just 3 1/3 shy of that supposed limit of 180. Chopper, Flores playing shortstop, deals the hop, throws out Bourgeois, 1 away.
And we'll take a quick look at your, dare I say, first place Metsies. That's always brought to you by Lexus. Kadire start in left field with the left-hander out there. Cespedes in center. Flores back in the lineup after a 2-day spell. Darno in there as usual. And there's your first place Mets defense.
Here's Joey Votto, who last night reached base for the 42nd consecutive game. Took him until the 8th inning to do it.
He is some kind of hitter, is he not?
He now has the longest on-base streak for any Red since Pete Rose set the franchise record. When Pete had the 44-game hitting streak, he had a 48-game on-base streak in 1978. And that's the record that Votto's chasing.
I was around back then.
Remember how it ended?
Gene Garber in Atlanta. And Gene Garber jumped up on the mound as if it was the 7th game of the World Series. That's about. Garber was a competitor.
Yeah, and Pete moaned after.
Oh, he was hot. He was not happy. So much.
Harvey picks off the inside corner and strikes out Votto for the second out.
I'm telling you, hitters are vulnerable inside. The good hitters. That is a big league pitch right there. Locked him up.
So Matt has his first strikeout.
Look at, there's the grip on the ball. And look at, we're going to mention it again, folks, with just 3-inch choke up on the bat of Votto, one of the best hitters in the game.
Now Brandon Phillips, 3 for 9 in this series. And he takes a slider off the plate. Phillips having a nice stretch drive. Last 53 games hitting .335. Pushing toward 300. He's at .295 for the year. And he flies one foul, and it's 1-1. Well, one of the big questions going into today is how far will Matt Harvey go? Nobody was happy, least of all Matt and Terry Collins, with him having to be pulled after 5 innings in his last start against the Yankees.
And we've been left in the dark.
He'll make this start. He'll make one more start next weekend against the Nationals to prepare him for the postseason. But exactly how to best prepare him, how far he needs to go to be ready to pitch a full stretch in a postseason game, I think that's something that's a mystery right now.
It's my feeling that he needs to stretch it out a little bit, but you've got the innings controversy, concern would be a better word.
Well, it's become a controversy without question. Yeah. Whether that controversy has been quelled at this point really depends on Matt. You know, he's got to figure out, in concert with his representation in the Mets, what is best for him and best for the team. But I know what Matt wants. Matt wants to pitch, and he wants to pitch like a guy without limits. 1-2 to Phillips, and it's hit out to right field. Granderson is there. And Harvey's got himself a 1-2-3 opening inning after being handed the early lead. After one in Cincinnati, 4-0 New York. The most popular way to follow the Mets' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at Bat, their #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet now. Wilmer Flores leads off for the Mets in the second inning. Wilmer getting the start after not starting the last 3 games. And I think it's appropriate that Wilmer be in the lineup on a day the Mets have a chance to clinch. I think in many ways what happened with Wilmer at the end of July was a watershed for this team.
I agree. One of the many. I think that the team came together. Of course, we're talking about the emotional game that he played when the Twitter world was running crazy.
Well, the trade that was made and then unmade as DeJesus throws him out. And since then, 42 games since that night, Wilmer Flores is hitting over 300, 301, 6 homers, 19 RBIs. He hit that huge walk-off home run 2 nights later against the Nationals.
Right.
That started the sweep of that series, and everything has rolled from there.
And it was a critical series because the Mets made a statement to the Nationals. You know, the Mets this year have been awesome. 46-24 in division, and they have dominated the division as well as the Nationals. They're now 39-37 on the road, guys.
It's amazing considering where they started. In fact, the Mets today are going for their 10th straight road win. The Mets in their 54-year history have never won 10 straight road games. 9 is the record. They did that in 2006, and they've done it again right now.
So 3 more wins on the road. They've got 5 more games left on the road scheduled season. They'll be over 500. 3-2.
Meanwhile, the Mets not only trying to clinch, but also trying to catch the Dodgers for home field in the postseason. Harvey takes strike 3 call. There's the 3rd strikeout for Lamb. Road Ahead brought to you by Buick. That's the rest of the regular season. One more here in Cincinnati tomorrow. And then after a day off Monday, 3 in Philly, and then 3 back home against the Nationals next weekend.
Can I crow a little bit? Can I just
go right ahead?
What did I tell you back when we were in Tampa?
You said that those last 3 games against the Nationals were not going to mean anything.
Correct.
That's what you told me.
Yep. And everybody laughed at me. And it was before all the moves. It wasn't because of the Mets team out there. I just smelled something rotten in Denmark out of that Washington team that I thought that they were going to crumble. They weren't going to hold together, and they didn't. And the Mets made the moves. So, prophetic.
You know, it's not the first time you've been right.
I've been wrong, too. But I was right on this one.
You know, the only way to never be wrong is if you never express an opinion. 2-2 to Granderson. Right? If you express opinions, you're going to be right sometimes and wrong sometimes.
I kept my zip shut for a long time because I didn't want to jinx it. But here we are, 1 game away.
Granderson went down looking his first time up. And Curtis, it's a rocket to right field. Back goes Bruce, takes a look, and it's out of here.
Wow. Curtis Granderson homers for the 2nd straight day, his 25th. And the Mets lead it 5-0.
Well, the last few days, the Mets' big power guys, Duda and Granderson, both of whom had been struggling, all of a sudden are finding the range.
Well, you want to turn it on right before the playoffs. There's around a week left, a little over a week. Good time for everybody to start putting that thing down in 5th gear.
Granderson last night, a homer and 4 RBIs. Another home run today.
He's had a very, very fine season.
Well, he's done exactly what he's been asked to do, which was get on base as the leadoff hitter, provide some power out of that spot, and he's done all of that.
Well, it just took him so long to get acclimated here and comfortable. Got up to the first 2 months wasn't so grand for him, for Granderson. Down and down the middle, I bet you. Yep. He never looked at it. He knew it, Mr. Lamb. And it's a rookie.
Well, he's pitched enough in this ballpark to know that if you get it in the air to right field, it's usually over.
I sense the body language a little bit, not a little defeatism here, a little dejected. You can't do that as a pitcher. You got to fight through the tough times when you're getting your fanny kicked. You just can't lay down on the doormat.
And Wright takes it high, and yet another full count. And those have plagued Lamb early in this game. His 11th hitter in the 5th full count he has generated already. He walked Wright his first time up.
Well, you've got all these rookie pitchers here, and they're getting their experience. And you know what? Everybody's had their fanny kicked out there. Even Mr. Darling, even Mr. Gooden, even Mr. Seaver. So this is all learning right here. You'd rather be pitching in AAA? Be my guest. The School of Hard Knocks, we've all taken our lumps. Every major leaguer has taken his lumps.
10th pitch of the at-bat to Wright. And David goes down swinging. That ends the inning. 4th strikeout for Lamb, but the Mets tack one on with another long ball. Curtis Granderson, 2nd in 2 days, 25th of the year. And the Mets stretch their lead to 5-0 in the 2nd in Cincinnati. Matt Harvey now with a 5-0 lead. Pitched to 1-2-3 first. Jay Bruce leads off the 2nd and takes a curveball for a strike. Bruce is 1 for 7 in this series. Slowly hit. Murphy was playing deep. The bare hand play, no shot. And Bruce has an infield hit. It's the danger of playing 4 steps into the outfield.
It is. You know, when you got power hitters. I mean, Bruce isn't a truck horse. So I don't agree with playing Bruce in the outfield because he is not like he's a truck horse at all. He's got good speed.
So the Reds have their first base runner of the afternoon. And now Todd Frazier, who has had a rough time of it in this series, 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts.
Syndergaard just ate him up yesterday.
Struck him out 3 times.
Nothing to be ashamed of with that stuff he had.
Popped up foul. Noah was probably as good as we've ever seen him last night.
I agree. He's had 3 starts like that. We mentioned it last night. 3 starts where he's come out of the chute with his command of his breaking ball. And when he has those secondary pitches with that fastball, forget it. It's in for a long night offensively. Murph way up the middle on the infield.
But still in the infield.
Yes, on the fringe.
Frazier takes one the other way, and he's got a base hit. Bruce will stop at second. So back-to-back base hits for the Reds to start the second inning.
Well, that shift worked against the Mets here. Murph playing up the middle, as you can see, and vacating a spot where he might have had to play on that ball. So, you know, I guess you play the percentages, what the charts say, and that one worked against you.
So Ivan DeJesus will come to bat with 2 men on. DeJesus has had a nice series, 3 for 6, couple of RBIs. He's played left field. He's played third base. Today he's playing shortstop. And that's what DeJesus has been for the Reds. The consummate utility guy. He started at 5 positions this year. Son of the former Major League shortstop of the same name.
Ivan DeJesus, who broke in with the Cubs, played shortstop for many years with the Cubs and was traded over to the Phillies. Steady player, journeyman shortstop. Good guy.
Bruce at second, Frazier at first, and nobody out. Harvey gave up only 1 hit in his stint against the Yankees Sunday night. Has given up 2 in this inning. And that's lined the other way, and DeJesus has a base hit. It'll go to the corner, and Bruce will scamper on in. Frazier's going to be waved home as well. Murphy's relay throw to the plate, not in time. It's a 2-run double for Ivan DeJesus. And the Met lead is cut to 5-2.
Well, Matt's been hurt twice now with pitches to the right-handers away. And they're set up that way. He's going to have to start pitching inside. Well, you know that ball's down the line, no hesitation. Nicely done cutting the corners there.
So 3 straight hits produce a pair of runs. Still nobody out. Now Adam Duvall, the number 7 hitter.
Ball on the outer half of the plate, and you can see he's just set up to go the other way. So it's time to start letting them know that the inside corner they have to be wary of.
Out to right field, and Granderson is there. DeJesus will hold at second, 1 out.
Another hitter trying to go the other way.
An early appearance for the Verizon trivia question. Who caught the final out on September 18, 2006 when the Mets clinched the National League East? Now, what do they mean by caught the final out? Because it was a ground ball, wasn't it?
They're saying the truck was a fly ball.
Oh, in 2006. I'm sorry. My mind was wandering. I was thinking 86 because I had you on my mind.
That would have been 4-3 on your scorecard.
2006 was a fly ball to left. That's right. Yeah, There's a call strike to Tucker Barnhart.
So I know the answer to that.
86, Backman to Hernandez.
Wally went down on his knees on a routine ground ball. He wasn't going to blow it.
He wanted to make sure.
It's interesting. You're talking about some of the guys that have been here a long time and went through tough seasons. Duda has been here a while. Murph.
John Neese. Bobby Parnell.
The equivalent for the Mets in '86 was Mookie, Wally,
right, and Jesse.
Yes, and Jesse Orozco, the equivalent.
That's true. I mean, you include Wright in that group too. There are 5 Mets really who have been here through some substantial hard times, for whom this will mean an extra special bit of satisfaction when the Mets finally clinch.
I left Wright off of that because he's won a flag
right.
before, but the guys, the first time,
right.
went through a lot of suffering.
Well, Murphy and Neese both got here in 2008. So, they were here for the second collapse and then through all the down years that followed.
Collapse? That's very...
accurate?
No, I can't think of the right word right now.
Knocked down by Darno. 1-2 to Tucker Barnhart. They've gone to the 4th inning in Washington. The Phillies and Nationals still no score. Huge win for the Houston Astros today. They were down 4-1. Their season falling apart. They hit 6 home runs and beat the Rangers 9-7. And propped themselves up for a day.
No lead is safe in that ballpark.
And the 2 guys who collided last night, Altuve and Correa, they each had 2 home runs today. So I guess they're both okay.
And Mr. Darling's there, am I correct?
Yeah, he's doing the game tomorrow.
Yep. And he's never been in Minute. Is it still Minute Maid Stadium?
Minute Maid Park, formerly Enron Field.
Yeah, with the pumpkins up there on the train.
Laugh every time you say that. 1-2 to Barnhart, and it just missed inside. 96 from Harvey. 2-2. Also this afternoon, David Price got his 18th win, and Jose Bautista hit 2 home runs. Toronto reduced their magic number to 5 as they beat Tampa Bay 10-8. Not a great outing for Price, but he got the win nonetheless. Much like Jose Fernandez last night, who went to 17-0 at home in a 12-11 Marlins win over the Braves. Jose gave up 6 runs in 5 innings, but he's just charmed in that ballpark.
He got the win.
17-0. Nobody's ever done that before at home to start a career. 7th pitch to Barnhart, and he slaps one over the bag. That's a base hit. DeJesus to third. He'll be held there as Kadire throws it in. Now heading to the second, Barnhart, and Wright didn't realize it, and Barnhart takes second base. So the Mets get a little sloppy here in the second.
David got caught napping. Can't do this. Let's see where the runner is situated. Again, Harvey getting hurt to the opposite field, Gary. Well, David knows the runner's holding up. Let's see. I can't blame him there, but he's got to be aware of the back runner. That's a pretty good pitch. A Barnhart hit right there.
So it's a single for Barnhart. He takes second on the throw. And now with 2 runs already home in the inning, 2 in scoring position with 1 out. And they're going to send up a pinch hitter.
Wow.
Brennan Bosch is going to bat for John Lamb. So the Reds taking this seriously. Lamb has thrown 62 pitches through 2 innings and gotten hit hard, so they're going to pull him. And Bosch, who hit a pinch hit home run in the game last night, will get the turn at bat. Carlos Contreras looking on, but he's been warming up in that Cincinnati bullpen.
So
a chance for the Reds to get right back in this game with a base hit.
Mets will concede a run, of course. 5-2 ball game. Matt would love a pop-up or a strikeout.
4 hits in the inning, 2 are home. Bosch's home run last night was his first of the season. Former Tiger, who looked like a budding star at one point, has seen his career stall. Jason Bourgeois waiting on deck. DeJesus at third, Barnhart at second with one out. Ball and a strike to Bosch.
Matt's fastball is running away, and it's like a three-quarter delivery instead of more over the top. I'll keep an eye on that. His velocity as a result has dropped a tad. 94 we've seen this inning. Not to be overly critical.
Bosch late on that fastball.
There you go, 96. Clean shaven Matt for today's start.
1-2 coming. And Bosch goes down on the fastball. 97 as Harvey dials it up for his second strikeout.
Those are the things you like to see from a pitcher. And we've seen enough. We know Matt, when he's in trouble, can reach back a little something extra. He did 94, 95, 96, and 97 to put him away. And there's your grip. Little two-seamer. Go sit down. Big strikeout.
So now 2 out. 2 in scoring position for Jason Bourgeois, who grounded out to short his first time up.
Not out of the woods yet.
Bourgeois filling in for the injured Billy Hamilton, who's done for the year. He'll have shoulder surgery this week. DeJesus at third, Barnhart at second, and 2 out. Four hits in the inning. Only one has really been well struck. That was the double by DeJesus. Bruce with an infield hit. Frazier found a hole because the Mets were shifting, and same with Barnhart.
Yes, you're right, Gary. You're always right. It drives me nuts.
That's not true. No more than you are.
Good
and
fastball.
A knee-high fastball for a strike. 1-2.
Boy, oh boy. This is what I tell you what, when you're in trouble and you dig down deep, he's made some pitches.
One-two. Slap to Murphy. Nice easy hop. Side retired. Harvey bends but doesn't break. Gives up 2. Strands 2 more. 5-2 New York. Carlos Contreras on in relief for the Reds as we start the third inning. Yoenis Cespedes takes a strike.
On the CBS News, international news that night, Haywood Hailbrun had a report from Wrigley Field about that game.
They actually were supposed to play 2 games that day. That was the Mets' 161st game, but it clinched, and the umpires immediately canceled the second game. That's enough. The season's over. And then the Mets, of course, knocked off the heavily favored Reds in the League Championship Series. It was back when there were only 2 divisions before going to the 7th game and falling to the A's. But the Mets were in last place that year on August 30th. I mean, think about that.
Gotta believe.
Toward the middle of the diamond, and Cespedes has himself a leadoff hit. So the Mets get the first man on in the third. Cespedes now 5 for 10 in the series.
Slider. Not down enough. Not out enough. Nice hitting by Cespedes.
So now Murphy, who had a base hit and scored a run in the first inning. Mets got a grand slam from Duda in the first, a solo homer from Granderson in the second. The Reds responded with 2 off Matt Harvey in the bottom of the second. John Lamb out of the game after 2 innings through 62 pitches, gave up 5 runs and 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and the 2 home runs. Ball and a strike to Murphy.
Seventh appearance for Contreras here since his calling up in September call-up.
Murphy pulls that one foul. Contreras, who was a contributor with the Reds last year, spent a big chunk of the year in AAA this year. 31 appearances for AAA Louisville. Just 24 years old. One and 2 to Murphy with d'Arnaud on deck. And another hard hit ball off the glove of Phillips. And where's he going to go with it? He'll go to second and get the force play there. He could have easily gotten a double play.
He could have gone to first base.
And then Votto could have gotten Cespedes in a rundown. So a little bit of a brain lock there for the 4-time Gold Glover.
Brandon Phillips sometimes is just a little bit too cool for school for me. Always looking for the backhand, the double play.
I mean, Cespedes was standing there. He had given up. So if Phillips throws that ball to first,
well, Cespedes
it's an easy double play.
Yeah, Cespedes does the right thing. He wasn't sure it was going to be a line drive.
Right.
So once it hits the ground, he's a dead duck.
Murph didn't run either, so
Murph thought it was a line drive too.
So it one way or another, it should have been an easy double play. d'Arnaud gets under one to left field. Over toward the line comes Duvall, and that's the second out. So 2 out, Murphy at first, and Duda will get another chance with a man on base. What a series this has turned into for Lucas. A couple of RBI hits on Thursday night, 2 3-run homers last night, and his first career grand slam, his first time up today.
Big shift again on Lucas, as always. Well, here's the grand slam, his career first, Lucas's, and down and in fastball, and that was a bullet.
Before last night, Lucas had not hit a home run on the road since June 18th in Toronto. He had hit the vast majority of his home runs at home, but now he's got 3 in the last 2 days. So much for that. Michael Kadire on deck. Sunday after the Jets-Eagles game, tune into SNY for behind-the-scenes access, player reactions, and a complete game breakdown with exclusive on-field interviews and Todd Bowles' post-game comments on Jets Post-Game Live presented by Toyota. Sunday after the Jets-Eagles game, only on SNY. A 4-pitch walk to Duda, and the Mets have 2 men on.
This is going to be one of those games with some sloppy pitching on the people with the red uniform. See this coming a mile away.
Meanwhile, they've gone to the 5th in Washington. Phillies and Nationals still no score. Murphy at second, Duda at first with 2 down. Kadire hit a dribbler, and Barnhart, the catcher, threw him out first time up. Kadire got the start against the left-hander today. Now facing the right-hander Contreras. Steven Strasburg, by the way, perfect through 4 innings in that game against the Phillies today.
He's been very good, Strasburg, since coming off the DL, Gary.
He's been striking out hitters in droves.
However, the Mets beat him in a very tight ball game in Washington. They found a way to defeat him.
Well, the Mets found a way to defeat the Nationals at every turn those last 2 series. I mean, They swept them end of July, early August at Citi Field to tie up the race, and then blew them away the 3 games, coming from behind late in all 3 in early September. And that
was Labor Day weekend.
That pretty much was that. I mean, the Mets had a few stumbles after that. Kadire drives one to the gap in left center field, headed out toward the wall, and it short hops the fence. Murphy is in. Duda being waved home. The relay throw by DeJesus to the plate. Skips on by. No backup by the pitcher. Kadire goes all the way to third. The Mets tack on 2 more on a 2-run double off the bat of Michael Kadire. And they now lead 7-2.
So the Mets get the 2 runs back. And you got a pitcher not backing up. There's no excuse for that. Oh, fastball right down the old pipe. And 2 outs off the bat. You're hustling. And Lucas, when he gets it rolling, he's like a big locomotive. Don't want to get in his way, that's for sure.
Well, they'll charge an error on the shortstop DeJesus, but that's the fault of Contreras for not being in the right place. You see him standing on the third baseline, which is not where he belongs.
Oh, there's Murph. Follow me. At your own peril.
He loves that, you know. Flores grounded out to short his first time up. So the Mets have scored in each of the first 3 innings. Kadire with a 2-run double. Flores fouls it off.
Just no excuse. You're sitting there doing what? Playing tiddlywinks in between third and home?
It's a good lesson for the little kids just starting to play. Standing around and doing nothing is never your job.
That's right. You kids, the kids aren't getting paid either.
That's a good point. Flores strikes out on a pitch in the dirt. Barnhart makes the toss. That retires the side, but the Mets add a couple. 7-2 New York in the third. Cloudy day in Cincinnati, but the Mets forcing some sunshine with a 7-2 lead in the third inning. Looking to clinch the National League East. Matt Harvey on the mound. He's got some Cincinnati connections. Let's go to Steve Gelbs. His report today is brought to you by Prism. Steve?
Gary, he does. In the summer after he graduated high school before going to UNC, he played for an elite travel team out here in the suburbs of Cincinnati, the Midland Redskins. Their general manager, his coach that year in 2007, Brian Heiler, is sitting to my left. And Brian, coaching Matt Harvey at that time, what is the 1 or 2 main memories you have of him just out of high school?
I think it was his mound presence at such a young age. I mean, at 18, you could just tell he was so far ahead of guys his same age that he was going to be something special. He just had that it factor that, you know, it's tough to explain. He just had that it factor.
The Midland Redskins, a lot of history there. Ken Griffey Jr. played. Barry Larkin played for the Redskins. We might have an opportunity to catch a foul ball right here, Coach, but a lot of major league talent came out of that program. With all the guys that you have coached, what was it about Harvey that set him apart from even some major leaguers?
His competitiveness. I mean, a fierce competitor. The Mets get to the postseason. Everybody's going to see it firsthand if they haven't already. I think everybody has, but I mean, he's a competitive guy. It doesn't matter if he's playing marbles. I mean, he wants to win.
And he just struck out a pretty competitive guy in Joey Votto right there as well. And you mentioned he wants to win. I know that he won the championship for you that year. Big part of it, won 2 games 1 and 7, you were telling me. Even at that age, you mentioned his competitiveness. What was it about those games and him raising his level when it mattered most?
I think it was his composure. I think, good day, bad day, up or down, he stays pretty even-keeled out there. Again, I know he's fiercely competitive, but he doesn't let it get the best of him. Even at 18, game 1 and then heading into game 7 for us, championship on the line. again, he just stayed cool, calm, and collective and got us a ring.
Brian, what's your communication level with Matt right now? How much does he rely on you? I know he's got a lot of people in his life that he can ask for advice, but how much does he rely on you, and how much do you guys communicate, especially when he went through a tough time recently?
Well, I think those guys need to talk about anything but baseball. Any of the guys that in our program are in the big leagues, they're so used to just talking about the game. I think they want to talk about something else, and that's what we try to do. Just a friendly text here or there, back and forth that, hey, I know it's a tough time right now. I'm here for you. If you want to talk, let's talk.
Brian Heiler, thank you so much. A tough day for Brian Heiler as well because he doesn't know who to root for. He's got both Matt Harvey and John Lamb, former pitchers of his. Gare?
Rough day for Lamb. Harvey had a rough inning, but bouncing back from that. It's always interesting to hear from the folks who saw players when they were in their formative years, who can give you a little perspective on what the player was before he got to this level.
It's always going to be glowing because they're always going to be the best player out there when you're playing. When you talk about a kid that's 17, 18, or 19 years old.
I just remember our interview with Mike Pelfrey's college coach from Wichita State, Gene Stevenson.
I remember that.
And Pelf had an up-and-down career as a Met, as Phillips has gone out to center, and Cespedes is there to grab it 2 out. And I remember Stevenson telling, I guess it was Kevin Burkhardt who interviewed him, saying, well, when he was with us, he was throwing 98. I don't know what they did with him.
I'm right.
I mean, it just gives you a little insight sometimes. By the way, Pell pitched great yesterday for the Twins, and then their bullpen blew it against the Tigers. A huge loss for them. That's ripped down the line off the bat of Jay Bruce, and it's 0-1. So with Houston winning that game today, they're still 3.5 behind Texas, but they're now a game in front of the Angels and 2 games in front of the Twins in that wild card race, which is very much ongoing. 1-1 to Bruce. So it looks like the Yankees will be hosting one of those teams in the wild card game in the American League. Little flare, and that'll fall into left for a base hit for Bruce. So he's 2 for 2. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Coors Light. Opponent's batting average, well, both DeGrom and Harvey are in the top 5 in the National League.
And there's 2 Dodgers in there, too.
As Terry Collins calls them, those 2 animals.
They're going to face off.
All right. Greinke, Kershaw, Arrieta. Who wins the Cy Young in the National League?
I'm leaning towards Arrieta because I think that 20 games means a lot in today's game. A lot more than 20 games was a lot when I was a kid growing up, you and I. It means more today.
Todd Frazier had a base hit to right field his first time up. Murphy not shaded as far up the middle as he was the last time when Frazier hit one through the right side. And that's hooked into left for a base hit. So Frazier is 2 for 2.
Slider that didn't really break that much, and Harvey's getting the base hits are coming on the balls away.
He threw a great slider to strike out Votto.
Yes, he did.
So 2 out and 2 on. Now we've on to Jesus, who drove in the 2 Cincinnati runs with an opposite field double. He in the second. And the fastball dents the outside corner.
Granderson moving closer to the right field line. Cespedes moving over into the right center field gap.
Well, we've seen all series. De Jesus loves to go to right field. got 4 hits in this series, and they've all gone to right. And he hits this one out to right, but Granderson's right there waiting. And that retires the side. A couple of 2-out hits. They're both stranded. After 3 in Cincinnati, 7-2 New York. City probables for the final game of this series tomorrow. Jacob deGrom back from hiatus to pitch against rookie right-hander Kivas Sampson. After that, the Mets will go to Philadelphia for 3 before heading home for the last 3 of the season. Matt Harvey leads off in the 4th and takes a strike. Harvey took a call 3rd strike his first time up. Matt hit a home run earlier this season, but right now he's 0 for his last 21 at the plate. And Contreras gets ahead of him 0-2. So the Mets have scored 7 runs today, which makes it the 30th straight road game that the Mets have scored 3 or more runs. As Harvey strikes out 1 away. And, I've said this before, that doesn't sound like much. But 30 straight games scoring 3 or more runs ties the longest streak ever. The 1912 New York Giants scored 3 or more runs in 30 straight road games. Wow. And now the Mets have done that 103 years later. And nobody did it in between. I mean, that's startling to me. 3 doesn't sound like a big number to reach on a daily basis. Agreed? But I guess to do it 30 straight road games is a big deal, because that had been done in 103 years. It's one of the reasons the Mets have completely turned around their road success. Granderson a part of that with a home run last night. Another home run today, his 25th of the year. I mentioned earlier the Mets are going for their 10th straight road win, which they've never done in their 54-year history. Contreras behind 3-0. David Wright on deck. So they tried to do something really cool and nostalgic in Oakland today. The Giants started Tim Hudson against the A's Barry Zito, 2 of the 3 of the big 3 Oakland starters from a decade ago. As ball 4 to Granderson. Mark Mulder, the 3rd member of the triumvirate, was in attendance to watch. Well, it didn't quite work out. Hudson lasted an inning and a 3rd. Zito lasted 2 innings. They both got beat up. It's 8-4 Oakland in the 3rd. Okay, and a nice little PR attempt there. Well, it was nice in the pregame. It just didn't go so well once the game started. Hudson, of course, retiring after this season. Yeah, I don't know what Zito plans to do. Zito went from Oakland to San Francisco, signed that huge contract, and it didn't quite work out the way they intended. Was that a 7-year deal? 7-year deal. Sure was. And he pitched well for 1 or 2 of those years, but certainly not what the Giants expected when they laid out all that cash. I don't like 7-year deals. That opened up the Pandora's box. Because once you do one, and the agent's going to say, hey, my guy wants 7-2. Hudson, on the other hand, went to Atlanta and had a brilliant second career. Pitched great for the Braves for a better part of a decade. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Bedgear, the performance betting partner of the New York Mets. Sleep cool with the temperature regulating pillows and sheets that fuel your favorite player. Bedgear.com. Sleep fuels everything. David has walked and struck out today, 0 for 1. Contreras in his second inning of relief. This is low with the breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Starter John Lamb lasted just 2 innings, gave up 5 runs, including a couple of home runs. Contreras gave up 2 more in the 3rd, although he should have been out of that inning had Brandon Phillips not brain locked. And that misses, a full count to right. Cespedes on deck. Granderson running, pitch taken high for ball 4, so back-to-back walks issued by Contreras. And the Mets have 2 men on. So in the first 3 and a third innings, Cincinnati pitchers have now walked 5.
Told you this was going to be a real blotchy game.
A chance for Cespedes to tack on for the Mets. He's 1 for 2 today, 5 for 10 in this series. Contreras, after having a couple of close calls against Wright, missing as badly as he can miss.
Spring training game. Up there comes the pitching coach, and that would be Jeff Pico.
You must have faced him as a Cub, right?
Yeah, I did. Quite a bit.
Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. Final out caught by one of our favorite people of all time, Cliff Floyd. Who made the last out? I don't remember that. It was against the Marlins, right? I try to remember who hit the fly ball for the last out. No. Gotta get every last drop of that ice cream out of that helmet cup. No matter how much it melts. 1-0 to Cespedes. Mets with runners in scoring position in this series are 13 for 24. They have just bombarded Reds pitching. Big cut by Cespedes, 1-1. They've gone to the 6th in Washington. Phillies and Nats still no score. Double play ball. De Jesus with the flip. Turned by Phillips. Side retire. 6-4-3 double play gets Contreras out of the inning. Mets still lead 7-2. Duvall leading off in the home 4th inning against Matt Harvey. Flied out to right his first time up. Lower 3rd of the order for Cincinnati. Duvall, Barnhart in the pitcher's spot. Reds have action going in their bullpen. No action in the Mets pen. Harvey's gone through 3 innings, 51 pitches through 3, a little higher pitch count than he'd like. He's had to work around a lot of traffic the last 2 innings. He's given up 6 hits in 3 innings of work. Colin Ballister is up in the Cincinnati pen. Coming into the day, nobody knew how far the Mets would go with Matt Harvey. Eric Collins has kept the game plan under wraps today. And Duvall strikes out on 3 pitches. Good slider by Matt for his 4th strikeout.
Head in the count. Don't have to throw a strike. Anxious moments for the ball club and that man right there.
Here's Tucker Barnhart, and he gets one in the air to right field. Granderson drifting. He's got room. 2 out. So 2 up and 2 set aside. And let's see who's going to bat. Ramon Pena was on deck to pinch hit, but it looks like they're setting up a pitcher to bat. It's going to be Josh Smith.
Really?
Who was Thursday night's starting pitcher. Smith is 2 for 6 on the season, so why not?
Getting Matt licking his chops here.
Smith pitched 5 innings on Thursday night. And he pops one up. Flores waiting for it to come down. And that retires the side. 1-2-3 inning for Matt Harvey against the lower third of the order. It cost him only 6 pitches. 7-2 going to the 5th.
Down goes Frazier.
Daniel Murphy leading off the 5th inning against the new Cincinnati pitcher, the former National Colin Ballister. Ballister back from Tommy John surgery last year and pitched in the big league since 2012. 13th appearance now for the Reds. And that one just a little high. Must have been the wind. Travis d'Arnaud on deck, and then Lucas Duda for the Mets in the 5th. Mets came out firing early in this game. Murphy lifts one foul. Lucas Duda a 1st inning grand slam. Curtis Granderson a 2nd inning solo shot. Michael Kadire a 3rd inning 2-run double. And the Mets working their way toward a possible celebration. There's Ballister's numbers since coming back from Tommy John. And he runs a full count to Murphy. Carlos Contreras allowed 2 runs in his 2 innings of relief and walked 3. 5 walks in the first 4 innings for Cincinnati pitchers.
Well, you see a lot of guys coming in with 10 appearances or 12 appearances. They're all September call-ups.
Murphy yanks one foul. Well, there are a lot of guys trying to make their mark or make their return, trying to open some eyes, win a job for next year. Murphy out to center field. Bourgeois back to the warning track, back at the wall, leaping, and he made the catch.
Wow. Terrific play by Jason Bourgeois.
No, it doesn't get any better than that. And if any other day, a normal day wind-wise, he robbed him.
That was no proletarian catch. Bourgeois with a gem to take a home run away from Murphy.
That ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying.
So one spectacular out, and now Travis d'Arnaud. D'Arnaud walked and scored a run, flied out 0 for 1. Did you see the catch Mookie Betts made last night to finish off the complete game for the Red Sox and Rich Hill? He robbed Chris Davis going to the Fenway bullpen fence, fell halfway into the bullpen and caught it and brought it back. They were toting up the number of times this year that Chris Davis had been robbed of home runs, and they came up with at least five balls this year that went over the fence that were brought back.
Really?
Yeah. So he might be in line for a 50 home run season without that. Not Murph. Well, Murph's got 13 and doesn't get robbed often. And Bourgeois stumbles, but able to recover and make the grab on d'Arnaud's line drive, 2 out. So now Duda, who delivered the keynote today with his first career grand slam. His 3rd home run in the last 2 days. Then he drew a walk and scored a run in the 3rd. Cuddyer on deck. Check out the Jets blog for an in-depth preview of tomorrow's Jets-Eagles Week 3 matchup with the latest injury reports, up-to-the-minute news, and predictions on the Jets blog featured on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. And Duda takes a breaking ball, and since he hit the grand slam, he has yet to see another strike. Walked on 4 pitches in the third, 3-0 count now here in the 5th. Michael Cuddyer on deck. And he walks on 4 pitches again.
Jeez.
So they appear to want no part of Mr. Duda, and the way he has swung the bat in this series, you can understand why.
Really?
So 2 out now. Cuddyer, who delivered a 2-run double after Duda walked with 2 out in the third. You know, we've talked a lot over the last 2 months about the way the Mets have turned their season around since they started making additions. It was 2 months ago yesterday that they started adding players. But even the guys who were here before have thrived in this environment. And Cuddyer is a classic example. You know, Michael was having a really rough year, and then he went on the disabled list in July, came back after all the new guys were here, and found his role diminished. He's played 30 games since coming back from the disabled list in the middle of August, and he's hitting .338 since returning. And he went around on that half swing. But a lot of guys have thrived in smaller roles. Halfway through, 7-2 New York. Mets are halfway through what they hope will be the clincher tonight here in Cincinnati. Mets with a 7-2 lead. Matt Harvey will start his 3rd time through the Reds batting order. Jason Bourgeois takes a strike. And we were talking in the last half inning about Michael Cuddyer and how his numbers have picked up since the Mets began acquiring talent. You see the Nats have taken a lead in the 6th inning. And it's not just Cuddyer. I mean, you look at Wilmer Flores and Ruben Tejada, and the list goes on as Flores throws out Bourgeois for the first out. What do you make of that when you import as much talent as the Mets did through acquisitions, bringing up Conforto, getting Wright and Darno back, that the other guys seem to have picked up their play as well?
Well, you know, I think that game is infectious, Gary. It is very infectious, and when a team gets a role going together, it's a very cohesive unit. A guy like Cuddyer, for instance, he's been around a long time. He knows his situation. He was not having a good year. He came, the injury came, I think it was kind of a blessing for him. He comes back and knows his role's diminished, but what did he do? He starts swinging the bat well. You want to contribute to the team, find a way to where you can be useful and helpful to the ball club winning. All personal becomes secondary when you're fighting for a pennant, and it just brings everybody together.
Couldn't it just as easily have gone the other way, though? That guys find themselves usurped playing less, that you could get guys grumbling, and it could have gone the other way?
It's usually second division teams and losing teams, but it's just the point I really want to make here. Number one, we know Cuddyer is a professional, and he's not a selfish player. There are those that would grumble. In this situation the Mets are in, those guys are never going to be happy. But I just think with this squad, and I've played with teams, the team comes first, and the prize is there, and everybody pulls together.
Well, you hear it all the time, and it certainly was the case in this clubhouse as Joey Votto bats and takes just out of the strike zone, 3-2. That when you have a team that has a chance, and the Mets were gifted a chance this year, let's face it, if the Nationals had played the way they were supposed to, and the Mets got to late July where they were, they might have been out of it and may not have made all the moves that they made.
Exactly.
But when you have a chance, the players who are there always appreciate it when management goes out and gets them pieces that will help them win.
Yes, and then the younger players, though, are not really understanding of the big picture. The veterans are probably the ones that have been here and have suffered, certainly understand, and it probably affects them more. So, you know what? But this is a kind of unique year. Look, they don't make those 5 moves. This club's playing meaningless games right now. It's just playing another Mets season being played out. That's how significant the deadline trades were. And also, it gives a shot in the arm to a guy like Kadire.
Right. But I would think also, as Votto lines one to left, and he's got a base hit. So Votto extends his on-base streak to 43 straight games. And the Reds have a 1-out base runner.
Well, the good hitters know, okay, this guy's got me out twice. He's got good stuff. He struck me out. I'm not going to try to hit for power. I'm just going to get my base hit. And there's Votto going the other way.
I would think that it's also on the leadership in that clubhouse, and I'm talking about Kadire and Wright and Bartolo Colon and some of the older players. Juan Uribe has become one of those guys. To foster an attitude that enables people to be able to accept those things, because if you didn't have that kind of leadership, maybe it doesn't go that way.
Well, the veterans are always going to set the example here, and of all the guys out there to set an example would be Kadire, because his role has been diminished. David Wright's back. He's playing. He's happy. Uribe is getting playing time. He came from Atlanta. He was happy. Kelly Johnson's ecstatic. Kadire's the one that's his role has been diminished, so the spotlight's more on him. How's he going to react? You know, did he come to the ballpark every day? He's a consummate professional.
But even guys like Flores and Murphy and at times Granderson, they've seen their playing time diminish. Lagares certainly has seen his role vastly diminished, and all those guys have continued to perform well.
Well, there was that period where Terry was platooning. There's no question. I don't know if Granderson is so much in that package there, but certainly Murphy.
Toward the middle of the diamond, Flores with a nice pick up the turn by Murphy. Double play! That was tremendous. Beautiful stop by Flores and the spinorama by Murphy, and they turned the double play to get Harvey through the 5th.
Terrific play by both guys. Better play by Murph. That is a fine turn by Murph.
6th inning, Wilmer Flores leads off against Colin Bannister. Mets with a 5-run lead. Flores has gone 0 for 2 today, grounded out and struck out. Matt Harvey is due up next. Nobody yet in the on-deck circle. Going to be interesting to see whether Matt goes any further. He's gone 5 innings, 70 pitches so far. About what he threw in his last start. There's nobody up in the Mets bullpen.
Here comes Matt.
And Matt has just come out on deck.
How about that? So he's going to go beyond 5, it looks like.
So what does that tell you? That's very interesting, because our feeling was going into it that he would go equal or fewer innings than he did against the Yankees Sunday night. Now here he is about to take a turn at bat and clearly is going to pitch the 6th as well.
Well, he's on 70 pitches, Gary.
Popped up, and Votto into foul ground, and Flores retired 1 away. There's your Delta 6th inning recap. Harvey has been good, not great, but the Mets got him plenty of runs early due to a grand slam. Granderson a home run, Kadire a 2-run double, and the Mets lead 7-2 in the 6th. I remember going back to the last start that the Mets were adamant about it wasn't about pitch count with Harvey, it was about innings count. He's gone 5 innings today as he grounds one to DeJesus. And that's gotten him now to 181 2/3 this year. So if he's going to pitch another inning, that's got to be Matt's call.
Yes,
because management has been adamant about holding those innings down. So if he's pitching more, it's got to be because he said something.
Well, his agent side too,
right,
put the limit at 180. So it has to be Matt's decision. Absolutely.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is. We were very curious about how long he was going to go today, going into this Wago.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how far he does go, but it certainly appears he's going to get the 6th. Granderson takes a curveball for a strike. Curtis homered back in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. I said this earlier about Matt, that amidst all the hubbub and all the back and forth, and he wants to pitch. He got scared, and you understand why.
Yes.
But he wants to be a part of this, and he wants to be a big part of it, not just a small piece of it. Granderson goes down on strike, so it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ballister. And Harvey will head out to the mound for the bottom of the 6th. It's 12 outs away. And Matt Harvey out for the bottom of the 6th to face Jay Bruce, who takes ball 1. Bruce has 2 hits today already. An infield single and a flare to left. So Harvey, after a 5-inning, 77-pitch stint Sunday night, pitching in the 6th, gets the ground ball from Bruce for the first out. One thing that Terry Collins was adamant about regarding Harvey today was that he will get one more start.
Yes.
It'll be
Saturday?
Next weekend against the Nats. So whatever innings he racks up today, plus whatever innings he throws in that last start, are going to take him, well, obviously well beyond 180. He's already past 180.
Yes,
so that's no longer a hard cap, it would appear. There's Todd Frazier, who's 2 for 2. This has been a season of many narratives for the Mets. And the Harvey one has been, at times, distressing. And ultimately might be uplifting. Who knows?
Well, he's in uncharted territory. 182 innings pitched to be exact right now. And some postseason to deal with also.
Well, the one thing we know is that Matt will not work game 1 of a postseason series that would put him in position to work 1 and 5. It's almost certainly going to be DeGrom in that spot. But he will get a start in that division series. And if you had to guess right now, you'd probably guess he'd pitch the 3rd game.
And the 3rd game, if I recall Terry Collins mentioning a couple days ago how important he felt the 3rd game in a 5-game series is the pivotal game.
Right. Well, generally the first 2 games get split, but even if it's 2-0, 3 is huge. I mean, this is all guesswork right now, but it certainly appears as though it would be DeGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, and Matz in that order in that first postseason series.
I'm just curious. I mean, the Mets go deep into the playoffs, or say go all the way to the World Series.
Strike 3 called. Frazier caught looking at a slider. Strikeout number 5 for Harvey.
We'll take a look at this last pitch. And it is a slider, and it's perfect. I'm curious what his workout regimen is going to be in the offseason. What is going to be that he's going to do? Because that's going to have to be carefully monitored.
Well, it probably will depend first on, is he pitching into November? Because that could happen.
Yeah.
So here's Ivan DeJesus. And he drives one toward the gap in right center. And DeJesus has himself another hit. Boy, he's had a great series. DeJesus pulls it at second with a 2-out double. DeJesus now 5 for 9 in this series. All 5 hits have gone to right and right center.
He's an inside-outer right there. Ball not in enough upstairs. What I like about Cespedes out there in the outfield, he wants all those balls. He knows he has the better arm than Granderson or Kadire right now, so he wants the ball. Anything in the gap, he wants to take charge. I like that. He can get lazy and not want to do that.
Adam Duvall fouls off the first pitch. 80 pitches now for Harvey. They've gone to the 8th in Washington. Nationals 1, Phillies nothing. And I think if you're a Met fan right now, you are rooting for the Nationals to win.
Yes.
So the Mets can clinch this thing themselves.
Have their moment. Not have it be anti-climactic. Climactic.
It's a hard word.
It is. Climatic. There you go.
Matt's given up 8 hits this afternoon, but he hasn't walked a batter, struck out 5. Mets starters in this series: Matz, Syndergaard, Harvey. No walks. Final game of this series tomorrow afternoon. Jacob deGrom makes the start, going for his 14th win. Our coverage begins at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon, right here on SNY.
We talk about the walks. The Mets are second in the National League in walks, least amount of walks at 369.
1-2. Bouncer foul.
To give you an idea, Washington's staff is the tops, the least amount of walks at 342 going into today's game. So not much of a difference.
Well, the Mets team strikeout to walk ratio is 3.4 to 1, which is just extraordinary. Used to be if a pitcher had a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, you thought that was great. Now an entire staff has an almost 3.5 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. It really shows you how the game has changed. Pitching is ascendant, and this staff even more than most. Saw a stat today that the Mets pitching staff has thrown 1,500 more pitches of 95 miles an hour or more than any other staff in baseball.
They have flamethrowers in that rotation.
So somebody referred to the Mets staff as Generation MPH.
That's a good one.
1-2. Just missed. 2-2 to Duvall. Play on Generation K, which didn't work out quite so well in the 90s.
No, it didn't, did it?
The thing is, Generation K was about 3 guys. This generation of Met pitchers, it's about a whole passel of guys. 7th pitch coming to Duvall. Struck him out. 6 strikeouts for Matt Harvey. He's gotten through 6. Mets are 9 outs away. David Wright leads off in the 7th inning against Colin Bannister, who starts his 3rd inning of relief. Bannister has given up just a walk in 2 innings and struck out 2. Now the Phillies have tied up the Nats 1-1 in the 8th. Wright hacks one down to 3rd, and Frazier the long throw, 1 out.
In between innings, Gare, this is what was going on. I think Terry's saying, "How are you feeling?" I think by poor lip reading, I think Harvey said, I'm good for another one." 86 pitches, Gare.
Well, he threw 77 in 5 innings in his last start, 86 in 6 innings so far today. Mets bullpen as yet quiet, so Harvey may have another one.
We saw a lot more of that conversation, folks. So Harvey did eventually turn and face the camera. So that's when I said I was able to read his lips. So I just want to clarify.
If you could read the back of his head, that would be even better. Pulled and caught by Frazier for the 2nd out. Cespedes retired.
Hang with them. Another hard hit ball by Cespedes.
So 2 quick outs for Ballister in the 7th, and now Daniel Murphy, who was robbed of a home run his last time up. Jason Bourgeois going up over the fence and pulling one back. Murph is 1 for 3 today. Daniel Murphy arrived with the Mets in 2008. Played some down the stretch that year, became a regular the next season. So he has lived through some of the dark days of this franchise. And he's going to be a free agent after this year, but he is here for what is soon to be a championship team. Here's your accurate Mets box score today. Lucas Duda provided the early thunder with a 1st inning grand slam, the first of his career. Granderson added a home run in the 2nd, and the Mets have been flying ever since. And Murphy's on with a 4-pitch walk. There's 7 walks now for Cincinnati pitching today. Well, the Met bullpen now is starting to crank. Addison Reed is up. So we'll see whether he's coming right in or just getting himself ready in case Harvey finds trouble in that bottom of the 7th.
I think he's going to have, that's just if anything goes haywire or Matt really has to work hard, he got the guys ready.
Addison did not look like he was throwing full bore there. D'Arnaud 0 for 2 and a walk. So Travis's offensive woes continue. He's 0 for 9 in this series and 2 for his last 31. Mets bats have perked up here in Cincinnati. 25 runs in these 3 games, but D'Arnaud yet to find a place in that. And now it's 0-2.
Well, D'Arnaud has no doubt been struggling at the plate.
Duda would be next. Murphy at first and 2 out. And D'Arnaud pops it up. Brandon Phillips calling. And that retires the side. 7th inning stretch time in Cincinnati. Does Harvey have more? 7-2 New York. On SNY. Right now, Matt Harvey pitching the 7th inning. I think this pretty much sets everything on its head from what people expected from Matt Harvey's penultimate outing of the regular season. Meanwhile, the Mets clubhouse now draped in plastic sheeting, awaiting.
It looks like a construction site, doesn't it?
The key is to keep everybody's belongings dry. Parker Barnhart bounces one out to Murphy, and that's the first out in the 7th. So, what do you make of Matt Harvey pitching in the 7th inning today?
I would love to have been on a fly on the wall and with a conversation that Harvey had with, I'm assuming, his pitching coach or Terry Collins, his agent. I think Matt wants to get ready for the playoffs. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, this did not come out of nowhere. This was not decided in the dugout during the game.
Right.
There's Brian Pena fouling one back. Pena pinch hitting. And, you know, considering that there was clearly a plan, which did not include Matt working into the 7th inning today, I can only assume that Matt took it on himself to upset the apple cart. Pull toward the hole and past a diving Murphy. Pena has a pinch hit single. Now the question is, having pushed himself into the 7th inning of this game, what happens in that last start of the regular season, and then what happens beyond in the postseason?
Well, those are questions I'm sure that Terry Collins is going to have to field from the press, because there's going to be a lot of questions coming his way post game.
There's Jason Bourgeois, who's been up 3 times, grounded out all 3. And Matt misses away with a slider. Addison Reed was up briefly. And the bullpen, Reed, Clippard, Familia, all ready to go today if needed. Fouled off the leg of Bourgeois, 1-1. You know, I can't help but harken back. There's Reed up again. Harken back to we showed the final out of the 1988 clincher, and there was the starting pitcher, Ron Darling, on the mound getting the last out.
Yes.
86, Dwight Gooden, starting pitcher, on the mound getting the last out. Those days are gone, but boy, that's a feeling that any starter would want to have, right? That's ripped down the line, a foul ball, just foul. 1-2 to Bourgeois.
Yes, a complete game to punctuate the division flag.
I mean, it's not going to happen today. Do you remember in '86, as you look at that foul ball just going outside the chalk, the Astros clinched that year, and Mike Scott threw a no-hitter
against the Giants. Will Clark made the last out. On a ground ball to first baseman Glenn Davis. How about that? One independent with a no-hitter. Huh?
That's just great, right?
Wow.
Well, that was a magical year for Mike Scott. 2-2 to Bourgeois. And this is low on a full count.
96 pitches here.
It's only his third 3-ball count of the day. He hasn't walked anybody. Struck out 6. And Bourgeois lifts one to left. Kadire froze a moment. Now comes rushing in. And
who caught it? Flores caught it.
Jeez, what a play by Flores.
Wow. I think Kadire was going to catch it anyway, but Flores wasn't sure. So he reached up and snagged it.
That's not an easy play. Kadire had it. And they both dodged the bullet. Flores not only made the catch, he olayed Kadire. That is not an easy play.
No. Well, Terry Collins is on his way out to the mound. Matt Harvey's thrown 97 pitches over 6 2/3 innings. And he has a big smile on his face this time, not the scowl that he left with against the Yankees. Matt did it his way today, 6 2/3, leaving 7 outs to get for a clincher. Addison Reed on in the relief of Matt Harvey. Makes his second appearance in this series to face Joey Votto with 2 out and a runner at first. And picks off the outside corner, 0-1. Well, Matt went 6 2/3, 9 hits, only 2 runs so far, no walks, 6 strikeouts, and a chance for his 13th win and perhaps the division clincher. 7 outs to get. And a 2-strike count to Votto. Well, Votto moving up. Getting on base 306 times this year. Presented by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code NYM for free entry. Drilled into right field, a base hit for Votto. So he has his second hit of the day, and the Reds have 2 men on.
Votto's a hit man.
How many times do we say he's been on base? It's 1 more now.
He just hit. Slider ripped.
So 2 out of 2 on. Now Brandon Phillips is 0 for 3 into that spectacular double play that Flores and Murphy turned to end the 5th inning. Reds have out hit the Mets today 10-5, but the Mets have had the bigger hits. And Phillips pops it up into shallow right. Easy for Granderson. Side retired. The clubhouse at the ready. 6 more outs to get before the champagne could flow. 7-2 New York. Lucas Duda, a grand slam back in the first, got the whole party started, and he takes a call strike from Ryan Matthews, the 4th Cincinnati pitcher of the afternoon.
Former Washington National, was a hard sinker baller, had a good year a couple years ago, hurt his arm.
He was with the Angels early this year. The Cincinnati Reds got him on waivers, and he's been a workhorse out of that Reds bullpen. Michael Kadire on deck, Wilmer Flores behind him. Duda has walked twice since that first inning grand slam. And a check swing foul, 1-2. Today's starting pitchers brought to you by People's United Bank. Matt Harvey going farther than anybody expected today. 6 2/3. In line for the victory. John Lamb got pummeled early and left after 2 innings for a pinch hitter. And all 38 players in that dugout, coaches, manager, support staff, just waiting.
within their grasp.
Held the swing in time, 2-2. Terry Collins, in his 11th year as a major league manager, 3 in Houston, 3 in Anaheim, 5 with the Mets. Finished second all 3 years in Houston. Finished second 2 of his 3 years in Anaheim. Finished tied for second last year with the Mets. But he's never gotten to the Holy Grail. Never been in the postseason. 66 years old, the oldest manager in baseball, and he is right on the precipice. Man who's devoted his entire life to the game. He's done every job there is in this game. Duda hooks one into right, and Bruce comes on to get it. 1 out. Came to the Mets as the minor league field coordinator in 2010. Got to learn the entire farm system.
Yep.
And then when the changing of the guard happened after that year, with Omar Minaya out, Sandy Alderson in, it was Terry who got hired to be the skipper and led the Mets through some dark days as they retooled and got themselves to where they are now.
Well, it's a good story, is it not? And we've been dealing with Terry now for 5 years, and we've grown very fond of him. And besides us, our good feelings for him, he is a terrific manager. And he could have just dialed it in for the 5 years, the 4 years that were terrible, and just continued plugging away. And now reaping the benefit here, and it's wonderful for him.
Well, for 4 years he had a team that had no chance to win, and this year they got off to a great start behind some tremendous young pitching. They faltered offensively. They didn't have the bats to compete. Sandy Alderson went out and got him the bats to compete. He had to tiptoe through a lot of difficult situations in terms of playing time, in terms of innings limits. This has not been an easy road by any means, even though the Mets have blown through the last 2 months. And he has been he's been the perfect man for the job in every respect. Kadire hits one out to center, and Bourgeois is there. 2 out.
Well,
let's check in with the studio. Gary Apple has a game break brought to you by Ford. Bond still appealing that suspension after hitting Manny Machado earlier in the week. Here's Wilmer Flores taking a strike. So the Phillies batting in the top of the 9th, and the Mets are in the odd position of hoping the Phillies don't score. Don't want to take away the Mets' thunder. Ball and a strike to Flores, who's gone 0 for 3 today. Kelly Johnson out on deck to bat for Addison Reed. Tyler Clippard up in the bullpen. And it's rolled to the right side. Phillips makes the play. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mets 7, Reds 2. Changes for the Mets as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Ruben Tejada in at shortstop. Yoenis Cespedes moves to left. Juan Lagares in to play center. The usual late inning alignment for the Mets with the lead, and Tyler Clippard will pitch the 8th.
Well, Clippard has been struggling a bit, and I have to think here that this is Terry wants to put an end to this, and then I think he's going to be a little more judicious with Clippard. Remember, he had a little bit of the back issue.
Jay Bruce leads off in the bottom of the 8th. Bruce is 2 for 3 today, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Matt Harvey went 6 2/3, allowed 2 runs and 9 hits. Addison Reed gave up a hit, got the final out of the 7th, and now Clippard for the 8th. And the Mets need for Clippard to be what he was through the entire month of August as we move toward October. Mets are not all that deep in the bullpen. They've got quality in Familia and Reed and Clippard. But they need those 3 to be on top of their game. What will be fascinating will be to see what the makeup of the rest of the bullpen will be in the postseason. Terry Collins intimated today that John Neese and Bartolo Colon could be asked to fulfill bullpen roles, and that they might be used out of the bullpen as early as this coming week to see whether that might work out. It's still very much in flux.
So it means basically that they're leaning right now for the 4 starters to have Matz involved in that.
Yeah, I think that's almost a given at this point. But the question is, beyond Familia, Clippard, and Reed, who else do you keep in that bullpen? If you're going to keep Neese and Colon, which is a possibility, that limits the other opportunities.
I think Neese is going to be your only left-hander in that bullpen, Gary.
So that would mean no Gilmart.
I believe so.
Right. I mean,
and how many pitchers are they going to carry?
Well,
a short series,
yeah,
5.
You can get away with 10 pitchers,
right?
4 starters, 6 relievers.
You get an extra guy on the bench. Remember, you're going to have Young probably. I think has an edge now. Terry has expressed that he wants him there because he wants the speed off the bench.
In the air to right for Granderson. He backs up onto the warning track to get it 1 out. And also now with the injury to Juan Uribe, who re-injured his chest last night, there's every chance he might not be available that first series, so that opens up another spot as well.
Well, it's every chance he's not going to be there. He's really hurting today, we heard from Terry. So and if it's cartilage damage, as what we've been told, you think that's fairly serious. So in the sternum area. So it may open a door to balance your bench. Yeah. Another left-hander opens the door for Neuenhuis.
Yes, could be. Because if you think about the unit that started today, let's say that's the starting unit. You got the backup catcher in Plawecki, Lagares, Tejada, Johnson. Well, Conforto, he didn't start today.
Right.
So that's 5.
So Conforto, Kadire.
And then Young would be 6. And if you carry 10 pitchers, you could go with Neuenhuis as your 7th bench player.
And it gives you a second left-hand hitter off the bench, which I like. And also, Neuenhuis is not going to hurt you defensively as a late replacement, and he brings speed too.
Well, the Mets have plenty of time to figure those things out. They will not, if they win the division, start the division series until a week from Friday. That's October the 9th. So it's still 12 days away. Frazier 2 for 3 today and swings over the off-speed pitch. 2-2. Will Papelbon got out of trouble in the top of the 9th. The Phillies had 2 men on, but they did not score. So the Nats come up in the bottom of the 9th in a 1-1 game. As we play in the bottom of the 8th here. And Frazier hooks 1 foul. Still 2-2. Interesting. The Chicago Cubs yesterday could have clinched a postseason berth. Didn't. They lost to the Pirates. The Giants lost last night, which clinched the berth for the Cubs at about 2 o'clock this morning. So what'd they do?
They doused the fans with champagne after their loss to the Pirates.
They lost again today, and then they celebrated. That's great. Frazier gets tied up, and he just got a piece to keep the at-bat alive.
Not how you want it scripted.
Pirates got a great pitching from Francisco Liriano to shut up the Cubs today. So they've just about sealed the home field. They're 5.5 up on the Cubs now for the home field in the wild card. Pirates are on an unbelievable roll. They've won 8 in a row, all on the road. It's their 95th win.
Tell you what, the Pirates are on a roll is right, and they can be a tough mark for those Cardinals.
Well, how about this? If the Cardinals lose tonight, they play at home against Milwaukee. They'll only be 2 games in front of the Pirates. So Pittsburgh still has a chance to win that division.
Is there a 3-game set that the Pirates and the Cardinals got to play, or no? Are they through with each other?
There's ball 4 to Frazier. Don't know that.
Why do I think that's so?
Let me check their schedule. Yeah, the Pirates have the Cardinals in Pittsburgh, 3 games starting Monday night.
Oh, that could be hairy.
Nice scheduling there. Something to play for.
Here's DeJesus, who has a pair of doubles and has driven in the 2 Cincinnati runs today. 1 out and 1 on. Well, how about this? If you're the Cubs, okay, you're not going to catch the Pirates for home field for that playoff, that wild card game. Would you almost rather face the Cardinals in the wild card game as opposed to facing Garrett Cole again?
I don't like to pick and choose like that.
Well, they have one more game with the Pirates tomorrow. If they were to lose that one, enhancing the Pirates' chances of winning the division, would it enhance their chances to get through the wild card game? I mean, who are the Cardinals going to throw in a wild card game?
Well, if you win the division, the Cardinals got to play, and you're going to have your big guy ready to go the next series. So you certainly want to win the division.
Right, but the Cubs can't win the division.
Right.
So what do they have to play for at this point? They're going to have Arrieta all set for that wild card game, whoever they play. Lagares over in the gap, runs it down for the second out, and Frazier goes back to first and just gets back ahead of the throw. So 2 out. I mean, the Cardinals have great pitching, but I don't think they have anybody who is as dominating as Garrett Cole to go in a 1-game playoff.
Or Arrieta, for that matter. And the Cardinals have the only team ERA under 3, 2.89.
Which is amazing.
It's just incredible.
When you consider that, I mean, they don't have a blow-you-away kind of a staff. I mean, Lackey's had a good year. Lynn's had a good year. That's through the hole, a base hit for Duvall. Carlos Martinez has been great, although they have concern about his shoulder now. Waka. But there's no one guy on that staff, I think, who scares you.
Well, not with Wainwright out.
Right. Now, he might be back, but if he is, it'll only be as a reliever. So now 2 aboard, and Tucker Barnhart will come up. And we'll see how antsy Terry gets, whether he'll get Familia up here in the 8th with a 5-run lead. Barnhart is 1 for 3 today. Reds now have 11 hits in this game. Pitches already in this inning for Clippard. 1-1 to Barnhart. Well, the Nats did not score in the bottom of the 9th, so they go to the 10th now. Phillies and Nats still tied at 1. Frazier at second, Duvall at first, and 2 out. Clippard trying to put this bottom of the 8th to bed. And he gets ahead 1-2. There's the good Clippard changeup.
Met fans on their feet.
Struck him out. Tyler Clippard fans Tucker Barnhart. And now the Mets are just 3 outs away.
Well, that's what the locker room looks like. The visitors' clubhouse here in Cincinnati. They've got the sheeting up. They've got the blue tape. They've got the signs up for the backdrop for a potential clubhouse celebration that may just be 3 defensive outs away.
Kelly Johnson pinch hitting, bangs one off the glove of Joey Votto, and Johnson is aboard to start the top of the 9th. So Johnson batting for Clippard. It would look like a playable ground ball, but Votto did not play it. We'll wait to see how they score it. That's of a leadoff base runner against the new Cincinnati pitcher, Burke Badenhop.
There's Badenhop's numbers. Over 65 games now. Journeyman sinker baller.
He got 1 out in the opening game of the series on Thursday. Curtis Granderson the batter, and he takes outside. They scored a base hit for Kelly Johnson. So the Mets have their 6th hit and their first since the 3rd inning. Mets did all their scoring in the first 3 innings of this game, and they did it with some big hits.
The biggest being the grand slam off the bat of Lucas Duda.
First career grand slam for Duda. Granderson hit a home run in the 2nd for each their 25th home run of the season. Kadire had a 2-run double in the 3rd. And so far that's been plenty. Granderson fouls one off, and it's 1-2. Jeurys Familia getting ready. It's the closer who gets to celebrate. Like Jesse throwing his glove in the air on a couple of occasions.
Yes. They've been here all year, and they deserve the moment.
That's pulled and past Votto. A base hit for Granderson. Johnson will go first to 3rd. So the Mets looking to tack on in the 9th. They have runners at the corners and nobody out. And Curtis's bat has certainly perked up the last couple of days.
He likes that ball down.
Fans are a vocal minority here at Great American Ballpark, and they seem to be proliferating as the day goes by. David Wright is 0 for 2, has walked twice today and scored a run. Mets 7 runs and 7 hits. The Reds 2 runs and 11 hits. Ball to strike to right with Cespedes on deck. What's going through his mind. He didn't even know if he was going to be here. 4.5 months of rehab for a back condition that many have never returned from. And he's come back to be a productive member of his team.
He launches one deep center field. Back goes Bourgeois to the warning track. Back at the wall. It's out of here! David Wright puts the icing on the cake with a 3-run homer. Captain met with a crushing blow.
Couldn't write a better story.
He homered in his first at bat, coming back from 4.5 months on the sidelines. And he hits the home run that puts the Mets into celebratory mode.
Cespedes pops it up. And Duvall has it for the first out of the inning.
Down in the strike zone where David loves it. 3/4, lazy little sinker, and David says, I got this one.
He's been waiting 9 years for this. His 5th home run of the season, and probably none more satisfying. He's been there every day for this team ever since he came up in 2004. Mets were competitive in 05. They were within a game of the World Series in 2006, and he had every reason to think that those good times were going to last forever. Well, they didn't.
Nope.
He re-upped with this team. He's battled through injuries the last several years, and now he finds himself right on the forefront of another title. Murphy cracks one into right center, and he's got another base hit. That'll go to the wall. So another multiple hit game for Daniel Murphy. A 1-out double. His 38th double of the year. And the Mets now just pouring it on.
They're just teeing off on this. It's almost making it look like batting practice. They're just ripping into this bullpen. Just anticipating that sinker. Nicely done, Daniel.
Mets have scored 28 runs in this series in 3 games, after scoring just 23 in 9 games on the homestand that preceded it. Darno 0 for 3 and a walk. It's almost incidental today, but the Mets, with a win today, will set a club record with a 10th straight road victory. Never done that before.
Got to get Darno on the hit parade here. He's 0 for the series.
Look at the young guy Conforto, who's watching the older guys to see how he's supposed to react.
He doesn't know how fortunate he is. Ernie Banks played this game and never got to a playoff or a World Series.
Don Mattingly.
That's true. More contemporary.
Two and two to Darno.
That's got to feel nice for that man. 42 years old. Let's not forget the start that. There you go.
Darno with his first hit in the series. Murphy will stop at third. So that gets Travis off the schneid after an 0 for 14 stretch.
Well, there's no way anybody's going to catch this ball. It's a solid line drive up the middle. And Murph is befuddled.
He's allowed to be befuddled now. Amazing, 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 amazing. So here's Duda. What a 3 days in Cincinnati it's been for Lucas. Be bigger here than Dr. Johnny Fever. Grounds one to the right side. Phillips with the flip. And the turn by DeJesus for the double play. That retires the side. David Wright's 3-run homer expands the Mets' lead. And now it's just a matter of acquiring 3 more outs for the Mets to own a division championship.
9 years.
Well, it's only appropriate that the man on the mound to try and get the final 3 outs will be the guy who really has been the Mets' most valuable player if you take in the full season, and that's Jeurys Familia, who came out of semi-obscurity to take over the closer's role after his buddy Henry Mejia got suspended, and has been as good a closer as the Mets have ever had.
But we always said when Mejia was closing that Familia, remember, he was just kind of the setup man, and we said he's got the stuff to be the closer. When he learns and matures, the job's going to be his, and it did happen.
And he has taken the job and run with it. He had one little stumble coming out of the All-Star break, but otherwise he has been nothing short of magnificent this year. And at a time when the Mets didn't have much offense and were trying to sneak by with 2 and 3 runs a game every day, he was there. Or before they acquired the offensive punch that enabled them to put up double-digit totals on a regular basis.
Well, he only had one really little speed bump, and that was after the All-Star break, Gare. And it just took him a while to get the engine warmed up again. He has been solid.
3 outs to get.
You Met fans can get prepared. You're allowed.
And the first inklings of smiles. Skip Schumacher will be the pinch hitter for the Reds, leading off in the last of the ninth. Now Familia blows one by him for strike 1. Schumacher, then Jason Bourgeois, and then Joey Votto. As Familia tries to close it out, Matt Harvey went the first 6 2/3. 96 up in the zone, and it's 0-2. Harvey went farther than anybody expected today. You have to think it was on his dime. Addison Reed, Tyler Clippard set it up, and now Familia trying to slam the door. Looking for that third etching. That's about to take the first step.
I'm calling your name, Gary. There.
Here's the 0-2. And Schumacher fouls it away.
They were chanting your name, Gary.
I'm not used to that, Keith. You're used to people chanting your name.
Give him a wave.
One way or another. Schumacher hits it out to left. Cespedes back. 1 out.
Oh,
following the progress of the champagne, fully chilled now. The ice has taken effect. The cork's ready to be popped.
You know what? I'm going to dinner tonight once we get out of here and have a little late dinner reservation. And guess what? I may order a glass of champagne myself. Just in honor of the Mets and that group down there.
Here's Jason Bourgeois, who's 0 for 4 today. And he pops the first pitch up. Duda's there. 2 out. And they can taste it now.
The very stoic Terry Collins.
Still obsessively checking his lineup card with an 8-run lead with 2 out in the bottom of the ninth with the champagne waiting. Tell you everything you need to know. Joey Votto, the last obstacle. Strike one.
And Joey won't go down without a fight.
Quick pitch, hit out to left. That's going to fall for a base hit. Votto's third hit of the day.
Well,
and that puts the party on hold for a moment.
he's a player. Just goes to show you he's a power hitter and an average hitter, and its base hits have gone to the opposite field because he's facing A1 top-notch pitching. That's just good hitting.
Reds have a dozen hits today. Brandon Phillips, though, has gone 0 for 4. Votto at first and 2 out. Good slider to start him off. 0-1.
Well, we've seen that all year.
Strike two. Chopper, tough play for Wright. And it's scooped out, but it gets by Duda. And runners are safe at first and third. David had enough time, but the low throw just eluded Duda as he tried to make the pick.
This is torturous. Moment, it continues to linger.
Great effort by Wright here.
Oh, definitely. Tough in-between hop for Duda.
It'll be a base hit for Phillips, I'm sure. Now it's Jay Bruce with first and third and 2 out. Phillips goes to second on defensive indifference. They give Phillips a hit. It's an error on Wright, allowing Votto to go to third. No matter for Familia, he just needs to get it out. And Bruce fouls it off. And again, Familia's one strike away. And 2 to Jay Bruce. He struck him out. Tears of joy for the 2015 New York Mets, National League Eastern Division champions.
Look at the coaches.
3 games behind in late July, made the moves necessary to make this team a winner. And the Mets secure their first division title since 2006 with a dominating performance today. And finally, Terry Collins can crack a smile.